Some had their dreams crushed. Others had their hopes living on. And for the Giants in France, the opportunity to win a Champions League, the dream to win their first Champions League lives on. And for the brothers in Italy, they made so many people proud. They made so many people proud. Hey! Nah. I see they used to be academy boys, but these days they are big boys. Unfortunately, they are still not good enough to bamba with the big boys. They went to Bernabeu and did some giddy there. All of a sudden, we were like, Charlie, they can do that thing, they can do that thing. All they had was a certain Dembele, Bakola, that is all they had to overcome to get to the finals. Were there no London 1-0? They say they will do comeback. Oh, France, they will do comeback. They want to make history. Charlie, the history in that say they will beat Madrid. That'll be all the history. They say Madrid has never beaten them. That is all the history they had this Champions League. Yeah, so the thing, it is what it is. Inter Milan versus Paris Saint-Germain, 31st of May, Aviation Social Center. That's where we are watching the final. Hit FM, rep your jersey. So it's not going to be Arsenal, Barcelona, or anything. It is Inter Milan versus PSG. Yes, whether you like it or not, that is what it is. Charlie, Koda. But let me bring the guys in, because one of them just joined and he's complaining about a certain penalty that was not taking a certain foul. Charlie, it is over. It is over. You can cry. Hey, it's over. Charlie, it's over. Apparently, one of my colleagues was doing commentary. I think he did that commentary, the PSG Arsenal game. Yeah, he did the commentary. Charlie, the guy they do the commentary like, you don't know what we keep doing, buddy. Hey! Let me bring them inside so that we will deal with the issues because, hey! Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. And to all of you, thank you for tuning in. It's Game Plan. My name is Razak Musbao, and sitting in for your regulars here. 055 1111 997. That's the WhatsApp line, which you can get to be part of the conversation today. It's a lot of Champions League talk we're going to have today. There's some action in Takwa this weekend. MTN FA Cup semi-finals. Dreams Trump the Visa and Golden Cakes playing tomorrow, and then Brecum Chelsea and Kotoko will play on Sunday. We're going to bring you the Brecum Chelsea Kotoko game on Joe 99.7 FM. So you make a deal with us at 3 p.m. all right, at 4 p.m. I beg your pardon. We'll bring you that commentary on Sunday, so you can add it to your calendar. Meanwhile, let's get to it. Sicho is here. Sicho, let me not preempt, but I think he's obviously an Italian fan, so he definitely was rooting for Inter Milan, unless he wants to correct me on that. Then I have Daniel Cranton here, quite obvious where he's standing. Then I have Kweku Asante, Ghana Connect, Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Barcelona supporter. You know, when was that game? On Tuesday. Tuesday evening, he accepted the defeat. Then all of a sudden, on Wednesday morning, he started ranting. Hey! I was like, tell man, that thing has passed. He started ranting all over the place. And that's been the feeling for most Barcelona and Arsenal fans. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. Sicho, you're in white or in black. Are you a happy man today?
I'm a very happy man. A very, very happy man.
Afa.
A very, very, very happy man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for many good reasons.
For many good reasons.
Yeah.
We'll get to the many good reasons. Daniel Cranton, it's like you want to smile, you don't want to smile, you want to smile, you don't want to smile.
Oh, I'm very happy. Yeah. I've had a very terrible season, but I stand a chance of playing the Champions League next season and winning a trophy.
Look at what you are passing.
The race is not for the swift, my brother.
Anyway, Kweku Asante is here.
Yeah.
On Sunday, they have an opportunity to redeem themselves some sort, but how have you been managing? It's been how many days now?
Well, when you are robbed, I mean, when you play the kind of quality football we played on Tuesday, and then you don't win, and then you question yourself what happened, because you look at Mashiniak is such an experienced referee. For such an experienced referee, that great performance in the World Cup final, and then you come into this game and then he lost it right from the start. I mean, that is the only reason why Barcelona lost that game, because of poor refereeing. The decisions were poor. I mean, look at that Achebi foul. It should have been a penalty, handball. There was also that foul by Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan on Lamine Yamal. That's the penalty. That foul on Gerard Martin before Denzel Dumfries did that assist for that Achebi goal was also a foul.
Maybe the referee shouldn't also have blown their whistle when Barella was through on goal.
Oh, that wasn't going to do anything really.
Oh, great.
But I think he should have done that so that we will see that it's a fair guy. Every 50-50 call went in favor of Inter Milan. And I mean, it's not surprising I'm seeing pictures of him with a Real Madrid bag in some place. I mean, well, the conspiracy runs very deep. That's the only reason. The conspiracy runs.
Is this a fair assessment of the game? That they lost because of bad officiating?
I think it's a fanatic assessment of the game. It's not. It's not. If you ask me, it's not the correct reflection of the game. Throughout the entire tie, Barcelona led the game for only 3 minutes. Throughout the entire tie, both at the Montjuic in Barcelona and in Milan, they led the tie only one time. And there is this perception about football fans that the team that sees a lot of the ball played better. I didn't think Barca were the better team, especially Milan. In Barcelona, I thought they were better in spells or in large chunks. But in Milan, I didn't think Barcelona were the better team. I thought the better team went through. If you look at if you split the game into the 3 halves that we played, first half, second half, extra time, Barcelona played well only in that second half. In the first half was all Inter. In the extra time was all Inter, right? But if you want to go into the little bits and go into the tactics as well, we can explain why Inter didn't necessarily want the ball. So the fact that Barca saw a lot of the ball didn't mean that they were the better team. No, Inter Milan showed a lot more than the ball on the pitch. Great character, gamesmanship in terms of being smart about how to win these games at this high level. And Barca's inexperience at times also came to the fore. If I'm a Barca fan, I'm focusing on some of the inexperience of the team and the if like the stubbornness or the arrogance of the coach in the game than the referee giving the call here or there.
I see the point Sicho is making with the inexperience. Look at 92nd minute, Lamine Yamal, Pedri gets the ball and he gives the ball to Lamine Yamal. That ball, you take it to the corner flag.
Simple.
And then you disrupt the flow. You try and hit you try to play the ball to the player. It goes into a throw, a corner. You get more breathing space. So that experience really. I mean, look at Gerard Martin. That ball. You have no guarantee that the referee will whistle for a foul. So it's either you are getting up, you are chasing the guy, you are fouling him, or you are doing something outside of the box, something to give you a breathing space. And if you are up 3-2 in Italy with that atmosphere at the San Siro, and you want to protect the lead, you don't bring in Lewandowski because Lewandowski has not been well. He has not played in the last 3 games, and this is the high stakes football in Italy, and you bring in Lewandowski. So when you go into the extra time, it's almost like you are playing 10 against 11 because he can't add anything tracking back or going forward. 92nd minute, why are you playing the high line? Why is 8 of your players in the other half?
That's his strategy.
And so I don't know what Flick was thinking. I think the strategy has worked all season. So, maybe because of hindsight, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what if? Because I'm sure if you won, I wouldn't care about all of that. But in the European big nights, you need some of those things. You need some of those things because listen, if that foul, that what I call a foul on Gerard Martin, if it was Gavi, Dumfries would now be unless Kolebu or somewhere, because the kick that he would have felt it in his bones. Gavi, what have you? I mean, and so some of those little inexperience. And for Flick, I don't know if I can call it an experience because he has seen it all. He has been at the very top. He has won a treble. And so sometimes I just think...
Look, football can be interesting and the narratives can be told in many ways depending upon the results. Had Barca gone on to win the game, the conversation would have been... And if had Barca won at 3-2, the conversation would have been that Inter was the oldest group in the competition. So the conversation would have been that Inter's old men didn't have the stamina and capacity to cope with the intensity of the young Barca team. And so in the second half, they looked jaded and looked tired, right? Now that Inter has won the game, even though marginally, the conversation straight away has shifted to
the inexperience.
The fact that the Inter players are older.
And
it's not about the fatigue. It's about the fact that they are older and that has come with experience. Look, for me, I think the game was so close.
Yeah.
So close that the blame game wouldn't necessarily wash.
Yeah.
Everything that Barca did that in the end caused them to lose is the reason why they got where they were.
Yeah.
You live by the sword, you die by,
by the sword.
They lived so well with it until the last end. Everything that got Inter, Barca coming back into the game and got Inter losing the goals they were losing to Barca is the reason why Inter are there. The game was so close. And even when you look at it, I think Danny hasn't spoken.
No,
land.
No, land. I want to do land.
Now, when you look at the game in the way the two teams approached it, and I have massive respect for the two coaches. And that is why I'm a bit disappointed in Flick in the way he started the game, because straight away Inter were pressing with their front two, like Lautaro and Thuram, on the two Barca centre backs. So building up became a problem. And when they wanted to use their fullbacks, who by the way are not first choice fullbacks, they are not the best choice of wide players for Barca in Martin and Garcia. Dumfries and DiMarco were aggressively high. Like they pushed so high when they were pressing.
Yeah.
Then Barella as well, depending upon which striker is not getting the press right, Barella will back it up because he's virtually the engine in that midfield. He's got more legs than Kahanoglu and Mkhitaryan. Yeah. So what that did was to stop Barca from building up well. And so when you look at the first goal, look at the position of DiMarco, so high up the pitch, smells that are almost going to pick up the ball, wins the ball off him, and straight away, who does he find? Dumfries. Because Barca are building up from their own zone, but because Dumfries and DiMarco are so high alongside the two strikers, as soon as they smell the danger and they cut the ball out, Dumfries is making a run in behind that high line. DiMarco finds him, squares the ball to the captain Lautaro, who of course wasn't going to miss from there.
Yeah. Then
when you look at the way the second goal also came about, they pick the ball quickly. Lautaro is making a run, the ball goes through, the penalty comes in, and they score. But as soon as they get those two goals, and the second goal came close to the end of the first half, they go into recess and they are back. And Inter are like, we've got 2 goals, we love this. Let's show the Italian in us. But that has always been I think that has also been a problem for Inter. People see Inter as a great defensive team. No, I don't think so. I think Inter defend better when they play their normal game than when they want to sit very deep, right? But against Barca in the second half, they decided to invite a bit more of Barca onto them in that second half. So Dumfries stopped being as adventurous as he was in the first half. DiMarco obviously came off early, and that again was because they wanted Carlos Augusto to do a bit more defensive
and
work.
it's understandable. They are 2 goals up against Barca.
Yeah, but
if you go chasing the third,
if you are 2 goals up against Man United, if you are 2 goals up against now Chelsea, if you are 2 goals up against Arsenal, you can invite them. But if you are 2 goals up against Barca, don't invite them. Barca will always score, and you have a formula that is stopping them from playing well. So in the first half, Lamine Yamal was quiet, Rafinha was quiet, Olmo was quiet per their own standards. We didn't say Ferran Torres. Pedri was going just side because of the way Inter set up. But in the second half, they had a lot of room, and look at what that did. Garcia and Martin struggled throughout the entire first half, but in the second half, because Dumfries and Carlos Augusto were staying deep, look at how far up the pitch the 2 fullbacks of Barca could go.
Yeah.
And now Gerard Martin puts in the cross, who arrives on the end? Eric Garcia. In the entire first half, he was never going to do that. Gerard Martin picks up the ball again, swings in the ball, who gets to it? Olmo. But in the whole first half, Martin was poor. Martin didn't have a breathing space because on him was the Dumfries. DiMarco was Eric Garcia. The guy, they struggled. See, if I was Flake, after first half, the two players, I'll take them off.
Yeah.
They were bad. But Inter invited Barca onto them, and Barca were brilliant at it, right? Barca were brilliant at using those fullbacks because they had the space. And to be fair, even in the second half, we didn't still see a lot of Rafinha until and after almost goal. We didn't even see a lot of him. Ferran Torres the same, because in guarding the box they were good, but in the wide areas, because Dumfries and Marco had gone too deep, they had too much space to come at them.
Let me bring Danny in now.
Just allow for Daniel to come. Then when and Inzaghi also delayed a lot of his changes, especially his midfielders, because of the job they had done in the first half. They were always going to get tired by the 60th minute. They are not young. He should have made those substitutions earlier, but Barca took advantage of that. But in the extra time, when he had made those changes around the 70th, 80th minute, in extra time, they took over again and they were brilliant. And for me, the character of Inter was superb. Big marks to Acerbi. His story is incredible. He is a left-footed centre back.
Yes.
Swept the ball home with his right, with an incredible look. Hoyland will miss that chance. Hoyland,
but it's also because Araujo's marking of him was terrible. You don't stay on this. You don't stay behind the player on that marking.
I'm saying that if Araujo stays behind Hoyland will still miss it.
Okay.
On his weaker foot.
No, it's a really good finish.
It's a very good finish.
First ball, you know.
Nicolas Jackson will miss that chance.
Right into the very top corner.
He just guided the ball into the net. It was taken like a striker. Taken like a top class striker, because how hard that ball was hit across, if you try applying power, you skid. He just literally guided the ball into the net. He needed just a little touch, and that is class. That's class from the guy. Shows proper technique. But for me, the last 10 minutes of the 90 minutes in the second leg is what I want to touch on. And it was funny because for me, if I got both teams to lose and both managers to lose the game because of the philosophy in the last 10 minutes. Look at Rafinha's goal. Inter had made changes just about, I think the last change was about 4 or 5 minutes before the goal had happened. They had freshened up the team, and I had the idea that they were trying to force the game into extra time, because if they looked at the Barcelona bench, Barca didn't have enough Arsenal to carry them through to 120 minutes. So when those substitutions were made, I thought it would alter the way Inter Milan were trying to play. But it's like after Barcelona equalized, they also wanted to revert to what they were doing in the first half, and they started being a bit open. That Rafinha goal shouldn't have happened. He had a bit too much space in the 88th minute to take a shot, get a rebound, and take it again before even somebody was able to react. He had acres of space on the left hand side. This is a team that was playing a 3-back with wing backs. So if anything, the right centre back or the wing back, depending on the shape, should be able to provide cover. But Rafinha had too much space. In fact, the pass that came into him wasn't contested. He had the ball, he controlled, he hit it, rebound, came back, he hit it again, and he scored. So for me, from an Inter Milan point of view, and if you look at the reaction of Inzaghi, he knew he had messed up, because you can't set up your team that way with 2 minutes to go. It's unforgivable at the San Siro, especially because of the substitutions he had made, as I've mentioned earlier. And then Barca also made their mistake. But from the Barca point of view, I don't necessarily blame Flick, because I have seen Flick defend over the years, and when you see every manager defends based on their principles. So Mourinho with 10 minutes to go will sit back and pack the bus. Pep doesn't do that. Pep passes the ball around. It's all defending. He believes that once you have the ball, you will not make mistakes. You control how the game goes. You can take it to the corner flag, side pass, back pass. By the end of the day, opponent is not getting the ball to score. So Flick with the high line, he's done it several times. In fact, in the Super Cup final, when they were leading 3-2 with the other time, that they were still maintaining the high line, just that they had possession of the ball. And the reason why Barca had that many players in the Inter half was because of the high line. So their shape was normal. It's just how they applied themselves in the final third. And I will blame the players, because if you watch that, Inter had come forward and Barca had picked it up. It was a ball that was played over the top to Pedri. When Pedri picked up that ball, it was a 2 versus 3. Any football fan will be screaming at him to quickly pass the ball to Lamine Yamal for him to kill the game. But Pedri took a touch and another touch, turned round and allowed Inter to cover. Then he passed the ball to Lamine and demanded a return pass. That is experience, because this is not the time where we should go and look for another goal. Keep the ball, because that is the philosophy. Before that happened, I think when the board went up, there was another opportunity for Barcelona to spring up at a counter-attack. This time it was Frankie de Jong who had the ball. He picked it up, he turned around, and he sent the ball back to Kubasi. That is the instruction. And for me, I feel it was Lamine Yamal who saw the space and decided to do what he wanted to do. But I will not blame Flick for that, because there's seconds between him hitting the bar, the throw-in, and the immediate long ball that went in was split second. So it was going to be very difficult for Barcelona to quickly get in shape in time for that ball. Inter didn't pass the ball 5 times, 6 times before they got into they saw the space and boom, the ball went in quick, straight to Terami, and then the attack is built. So it was an individual mistake that cost Barcelona, which I feel like 100 games under your belt, you should at least have that experience. In the Euros final, just before he was taken off, when the goal was scored, I think 86 minutes, when the play restarted, Lamine Yamal got the ball on the side. He took it to the corner flag. He was playing around it. They choked the guy and they substituted him. That was experience. So it's not like we've not seen him do it before. I feel like
to invite him because it was close.
no,
and he ended up hitting the post anyway.
Like,
if he went in,
he closed the game.
You see,
marginal.
ifs and buts, they don't play ball.
yeah.
They'll tell you, look, unless you are Messi, unless you are Ronaldo, then that one, even if you make this mistake, we can't come and sit here and blame you. But unless you are those two, you don't take that risk, because if the keeper saves it, that's possession back to the opposition. If he hits the bar, opposition, unless he enters the net and you kill it off,
Or there's a save
to a corner. But even that, you don't necessarily want that. So keep the ball. And you see, there's no team in this world, even PSG don't keep the ball better than Barcelona. So that was Barcelona's perfect spell. Pass the ball around frustratingly, back, side, to keeper, to right back, send Inter. And the thing is that at that point in time, Taremi, Thuram, the front two, wouldn't have had the pace to pursue Barcelona when they were passing the ball around. Pace to apply an intense press. So Barca had it in their hands. Send the ball around, and before you realize 5 minutes is over and you've won the game. But they messed up. And then so it was basically two mistakes. Inter not managing the game well at that point, they got punished. Barca not managing the game well at that point, they got punished. But that's the Champions League. That's the beauty of the Champions League.
Imagine.
You can go and joke in Conference League, somebody will not take advantage.
Or even in the Europa
Even
League.
in the Europa League, somebody will not take advantage.
Somebody
But
can lead 4-2 and you come and win. No,
but in the Champions League, one little mistake, your failure to alter something, and it takes me back to the PSG Liverpool game. PSG had done everything in that first leg. Liverpool made one substitution and PSG failed to react to it. The substitution of Darwin Núñez, sending him out wide, sending a long ball to him. In fact, 2 instances had come when he came on. PSG felt they were on top, so they didn't react to that, and that is what caused the goal for Liverpool. It is minute decisions, margins, and that's the beauty of the Champions League. So with that, we'll get to the Arsenal game. But if you think you are go and make one mistake, see something and don't react, and you'll be punished. And for Barcelona, it was just quite unfortunate. I feel like if they had the full squad available, I think this game would have gone to penalties.
I wait till full squad.
Oh yeah,
If Balde, Koundé, Lewandowski, because they probably could have won even in over 2 legs. But basically this is a Champions League, and the margins are very slim. If you mess up, you'll be punished.
Well, if you mess up, you'll be punished. Some of you have already been sending your messages. Let's see if we can read some of them very quickly. Let's see if we can read some of them now. But what's the name? Quick Asante, just before I get the messages. There's this thing after the game about Ronaldo Araujo and the way people were blasting him. What is all this about?
You know, Araujo in the last 2 seasons, particularly the whole of last season and this season, hasn't really been up there. And in particular, that game against PSG, the quarterfinal last year, where he fouled Bakola, we had gone to France. We had actually won away from home, and we're playing home. We had actually scored 1-0 in that game. Rafinha had scored, and so we were leading on aggregate by 2 goals. And so if Bakola has a break, you should trust your goalkeeper.
And it's Bakola.
Even if he scores, that is still 2-1. That is still 2-1. You still have 11 players. But the moment you lose 1 player, now you're playing 10 against 11 against Mbappe and Dembele, who are in such top form on the wings. You're going to struggle. And so in fact, after that game, Gundogan criticized him and said they have to take responsibility. And then some of the fans turned on him and said, whatever. Eventually, we now realize that. Because if you look at the 2 goals that were scored, the goal with Achebi, I think that he could have done something about it. I mean, if he marked him well, like the way we knew him even 2 seasons ago, because whenever we play Real Madrid, what Xavi used to do was to send him to right back or left back to be able to deal with Vinicius. So he was very good then. But I don't know if he's lost. I don't know if something in the mindset and then look at the game look at the second goal against Dumfries. Not Dumfries, this guy, what's his name? Thuram had lost his leg in this game. He was tired. And you allow Thuram to be turning you left and right, and then you allow the guy to be able to swing in a cross. And so I'm like, what is going on? This is Araujo. At some point, we thought this is going to be Apuyo. And I look at him. He can't even mark players well. Can't tackle the game.
At some point, you were thinking it was going to be...
Oh, that's going to be Apuyo. That guy.
But you see...
And he couldn't mark. Thuram was tired.
For the Thuram incident, I thought he could have done better because Araujo is also physical. But for that Achebi goal...
Push the guy to somewhere.
To be fair, Achebi was in an offside position. When the long ball came, Achebi was offside. Achebi was actually walking back. And then the ball dropped to Dumfries.
Yeah.
By that time, the Achebi was offside. Araujo was moving in line with Kubasi. And then the ball got to Dumfries. Dumfries take the touch. And as soon as Dumfries take the touch, the cross is coming in. And that is when, by that point, the ball, Achebi is behind the ball. That is when Araujo is now making the move from his okay position to come and get across. Bro, Achebi is a big lad, though. Achebi no be.
But in all of this, what about Chesney? Couldn't Chesney has done better?
No, I don't think he would have invested in that game. The cross from Dumfries was heavy, and so you just guard it. He was. I'm not even sure he expected that.
What about the fourth goal that Fratesi scored? I mean, I look at it again and again, and I felt that he had a little more space in the area because he actually.
But that one I blame Kubasi.
He took his time.
Yeah, he should have just gone on to tackle the player.
To be frank, what Kubasi did is one of the trends in modern day defending that I absolutely hate, and the one that typifies it is Van Dijk. When a player has a ball, defenders these days seem to back off and protect an angle. You can't see the pool.
They're almost telling him you go here.
You go here. And you see, whoever has the ball, whoever is facing the goal has a better angle than
tired legs, lots of concentration.
Oh, it's this modern day defense. It happens every game. In the box, put your hand behind you, cover an angle, and back off, and maybe try and make a block. Van Dijk,
but
he didn't want
the Lamine Yamal goal in the first leg. You see, that is how Achebi stood.
Yes,
Achebi almost blocked one part and Lamine Yamal killed the ball. Yeah, like that. And even yesterday in Messi Mount's goal, it was the same thing that this thing did.
Closing, you don't need to make a tackle, but closing.
You see, when the ball came and that pressure,
touch.
He took the ball and
faked the shot.
And
Kubasi went back.
And Kubasi stepped back.
So he opened the
angle and tap.
It was a really nice goal. Yeah.
Ballers. That thing has scored some before.
No, but that was a brilliant game.
Yeah, it was a lovely game, man.
13
goals in 2 legs.
Wow. Brilliant.
It's the greatest Champions League tie of all time. Full stop.
I think so. I think so. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was a great tie.
Toe to toe in the first leg, toe to toe in the second leg. We didn't have a tie where you see most of the time you talk about one team dominated the first leg, then another team will come back in the second leg. No, this time 3-3 end-to-end action first leg. Charlie, crazy.
It was massive.
Yeah, it was massive. Let's see. Let's get some of your messages. This one is from Okay, let's start from the top. Are you starting from the top? Okay. This is from Nanajua Pepra in the UK. Heartfelt condolences to Emilia Kwe. Okay, of course not. Am I supposed to read this one? All right. This one says Team Milan versus PSG is a cool chop for Milan on 31st of May. At least the noise is reduced now. Bavarian Daniel Harrison Ado from Hacho. Then this one says, I am a Barca fan. Didn't expect the team to get this far, but it hurts when you are 2 minutes away from the finals. Anyways, we move. Charlie, you for move. Oh, forget that and cry. If Arsenal knew they couldn't go the kill, then they should have allowed Madrid to go for it. Instead, Mikel and his lads had wanted to go serve their usual rice at Parc des Princes, but they forgot it was too Jimmy and not Lele or Gino. Hey, better luck next time. Yeah, Chris, GGMU. Charlie, United way they do like that. Somewhere. This one is Nito Joe from Newtown. Tama Newtown said football is a passion game and we love it. Yeah, of course we love it. Anyway, let's get to the Wednesday game now. Arsenal were losing by 1-0. And it was still open, to be fair, because all they needed to do was to score, and they had about, say, 4 to 5 chances in the first 20 minutes to do that. And for some strange reason, Donnarumma decided to show that he's a world-class goalkeeper in those first 20 minutes.
I think when you are in the Champions League and from the 2 semi-final games, you just realize, again, the margins are very close. And so you need world-class players in various departments of the game. Sommer, for instance, actually won the game for Inter Milan. If you look at some of the saves he did, and Donnarumma also did. In fact, there was this save.
We didn't talk about
Sommer, like he was massive. This is a
phenomenal
guy. This is a guy. Man U goes to Inter Milan and say, "Well, 55 million for Onana."
You really had
55 million, and then the guys, okay, good business. Then they take 5 million on the 55 million and go and pick Sommer, who is 500,000 times the goalkeeper Onana is. That is the kind of decisions they make at Manchester United.
You couldn't resist.
Ten Hag.
You couldn't resist.
Ten Hag. And so you look at that shot from what's the name, Odegaard.
Yeah.
And the save from Donnarumma. In fact, he felt it. At some point, I thought he was going to be substituted because that was how good that save was. And so Donnarumma was so good in the first half of the game. Now Arsenal start resorting to some very wild tactics. For instance, I didn't even understand how they were doing long throw-ins, and the goal against them also came from a set piece.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah, I don't see the strategy because
but it almost worked. Do you remember that the throw-in that Thomas Partey
the
reflex save that?
We get chances came from
throw-ins.
The Martinelli one and Odegaard one.
Great. So you look at the goal against the goal PSG got from a set piece.
Yeah.
And this is a team, Arsenal, we know them that they are very good with set pieces, defending it and also even playing an attack in terms of their set pieces. So I thought they were going to do something like that. And then I hear Atata say that after 160 minutes, he thought the better team lost.
And he said the PSG bench told him that.
I don't know who, I'm sure some seventh coach. There's no way Enrique is telling him that. Unless Enrique is doing what Pep does. Lie to you, to inflate your egos, to calm you down and say you've lost anyway. If that is what is going to make you sleep at night, please go. But there's no way anybody says between 160 minutes, Arsenal were the better team. Arsenal were not the better team in Emirates, and they were not the better team in Parc des Princes.
With or without Thomas Partey?
Oh, of course. The first game, it was clear they missed that kind of controller midfielder. But even in the second half, I don't feel like Thomas Partey did what a lot of people expected him to do, because the PSG midfield, Vitinha, they are so good. They are so good with the ball. They can hold the ball. When it's time to attack, the burst is there. But they move so quickly, and they don't even miss Dembele.
Yeah.
Because I thought Dembele not being there, that pace, that attacking mindset and all that was going to help them. They didn't miss him. They just went in there and did something great. So I thought that PSG were the better team and they deserve to go through to the. Although I'll be doing against them because I don't want anyone to make any argument that Dembele deserves Ballon d'Or. Nobody should even say that.
But he's already
He's in contention.
If we are being fair, the top three is Lamine Yamal, Pedri, and Rafinha. Anyway you mix it, any one of them can perfectly be a perfect Ballon d'Or candidate than Dembele. So for that reason alone, I'm going to go against Enrique in that game. I'll be at Hits FM Rep your jersey, and I'm going to be all out against PSG. They're going to lose that game. Hopefully Inter wins it so that no Ballon d'Or shots for Dembele. That guy that couldn't score that Messi pass to him at Anfield wants to go and win Ballon d'Or. It won't happen in this world.
No is way. It not Messi who went to score penalty from PSG go eliminated against Real Madrid? You think the PSG? That's why they sacked him. That's why the PSG fans
sacked Messi and Ronaldo.
That's why the PSG for Barca. We are Messi for Barca and you are Ronaldo for everywhere. That's why the PSG fans
sacked that Ronaldo that ball just after the 18-yard box. Al Nassr. He's the reason why they are not winning anything.
It was good defending.
Well, we shall see.
Solid defending.
The defenders' anticipation was good.
Fantastic.
Charlie, you had high hopes.
You see the way Kweku Asante is. I know him. You see the way he broke down the Barcelona game. And that they created more chances and that they were unlucky and someone won the game for. But when he came to Arsenal, he says Arteta is not right for saying that the better team lost the game.
Yeah, he says.
Of all the 4 teams that played in the semi-final, Arsenal created the best chances. They had the highest XG. Arsenal had close to 5 in terms of XG. And they had, in fact, they didn't get a penalty over 2 legs. PSG got a penalty. Inter got a penalty.
Barca didn't get one anyway.
Barca didn't get one. Second highest XG. Congratulations. We are all out. By the end of the day,
but you have to play 10-4 for Barca.
I need it. Like it will be 7 goals to 0. And we should have played it at Emirates. the anger would have gone into that game with against Arsenal.
You don't know. You don't know.
That's why he so much wanted them in the final.
Look, Arsenal played a solid game in the second leg. And me, I understand. You see, they have a certain brand around them. People see them as losers. So when anything happens to Arsenal, it's just automatically dismissed. But I'm saying that if you take this Arsenal performance and you put Barcelona in place, everybody will give Barca credit for it and say, oh, they were unlucky and they went out. But because it's Arsenal, you don't create this amount of chances and go out and then you turn around and you blame who? That they didn't play well. PSG were rattled though. Yes, Vitinha and João Neves and Fabian Ruiz have been brilliant all season. But this game, that second leg at they couldn't get hold of the ball. They struggled, and at a point they had to accept that they were not going to get hold of the ball, so they had to retreat and defend. That's how good Arsenal were. It's just the goal that didn't come. Saka couldn't score me and Polo. Bukayo Saka. If you are talking about top 5 players in the Premier League, who you can bank your put your money on that will score me and Polo, Saka is there. Somewhere, somehow, on Wednesday night, he couldn't score me and Polo. Me and Polo. Donnarumma has got everything, and this one he said, oh, I'll leave this one for you. There, try your luck. Saka missed the chance. XG of 4.5 over 2 legs. Look at the big saves Donnarumma made in the first leg, and look at what he did again in the second. In fact, after 9 minutes, any other goalkeeper Arsenal would have been leading 3-0. The first chance for Declan Rice. Rice scores that. I've seen Rice score that header about 1 billion times in his career.
He didn't even hit the target. That was
inches wide, some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Then the long throw from Partey, which sets up Martinelli. Point blank range, reflex, Donnarumma saves it. Then the corner comes in, is cleared. Odegaard, bam, Donnarumma saves again. That was simple 3-0. It just didn't work. And you see, then you flip it. The big chances that PSG created in that first half were all from Arsenal mistakes, and they were not forced mistakes. Luis Kelly has the ball. He has options around him. He tries to choose the most difficult pass, and he literally plays the ball to PSG and they counter. Raya picks up the ball, he gives it to Rice under no pressure. He bad control, set piece, and then they score Arsenal. Arsenal carved this PSG team open in a way we've not seen this season before. PSG were rattled, they had to. But you see, that's also credit to PSG and credit to their manager. Because the first leg, I'll go back to the quarter-final, round of 16, when they eliminated Liverpool. They were by far the better team in the first leg, yet lost. They went to Anfield. They didn't outplay Liverpool at Anfield, but they were smart and they got the result. They outplayed Aston Villa, got the 3-1 win. In the second leg, they survived though. They were very lucky to survive, but they were smart.
If Unai Emery was not stubborn and kept Rashford on in that game,
it could have been different. I can't even believe I'm saying this. But Rashford could have been the game changer if he had allowed the 90 minutes to finish. But you see, and that shows growth. Because these things that have hit PSG this season, take it back a couple of years ago, they would have crumbled under pressure. I don't think the PSG team that got eliminated by Madrid, you remember the Benzema hat-trick, I don't think they would have been able to stand that Aston Villa onslaught in the second half. They would have crumbled. That team didn't have character. Somebody walked into the team, all of a sudden the character in the team just died. But they have shown growth, so you have to credit them. And you see, in the Champions League, yesterday I was telling the boozer, in the Champions League, you have to suffer. If you are going to get the ultimate, you have to suffer. Suffering comes with it. You will go close, you will suffer, you will cry. When Bayern built their super teams in the late 90s, early 2000s, it's not 2 goals from Man U last minute that broke their hearts. 2 years later, they were back in the final, and this time they won it. Look at Bayern Munich, played at home against Chelsea, outplayed Chelsea. Somewhere, somehow, Didier and Czech said they will not win the thing, but they came back. That is the suffering. The following year, they came back, and then they won it. Look at how Man City suffered. Lyon or the score City, Lyon, Monaco. And if you go and watch those games again, bad luck. You have to go through some things before you be able to win the ultimate. It's normal. It happens. That's why when the guy went to promise that the Champions League will come back here, no, we dey laugh. You don't just get up and hold mic and say the Champions League will come here. It doesn't work like that. Today he's in America. He's eating Lays chips in America, doing this thing promo for a movie. Meanwhile, the team is sitting here. They still not won the Champions League.
He has still not returned the trophy.
He has still not returned the trophy. You don't get up and promise a thing like that too. You need to go through some certain things before you will to win the Champions League. You will suffer. Chelsea suffered. To today, we don't know if that ball crossed the line at Anfield or not. We don't know. Chelsea suffered against Barcelona. They chalk somebody in the box. Referee said play on. Today, Barcelona fans are talking about being cheated.
Yeah, they're talking about referees.
Yeah, but that game, if you looked at the first leg, there are videos all over there. Chelsea fans don't see that.
No,
they only see the second leg. Ogogo made some 1 or 2 mistakes.
Nothing happened in the first leg. But you have to suffer, and eventually in the season Chelsea won, when everybody says they didn't deserve it, it is the price they paid the years before that the god of football said, okay, you are ready, you can handle the Champions League. So me understand, PSG have suffered, so they deserve to be here. Arsenal, they went on an 8-year break.
Quarterfinals last season,
semi-final. It's part of the journey, and you need to build character. These things will build you. So it's cool. Sometimes the numbers and everything will go your way, but the most important statistic will not go your way, which is fine. But I feel this Arsenal team, no, Arteta, he will stay. I know don't sack him, but he needs to be smart.
And Arsenal is not ambitious. If Arteta is going to stay for one more season after 5 years of nothing, 5 years of nothing, but an FA Cup that had been won already by Unai Emery, really, in terms of the qualification, then that's not an ambitious club. You don't win anything like that. 5 years
in terms of qualification. How?
That is what everyone said. Arsenal is like watching a Netflix series.
Wait.
Next season.
No. As for that FA Cup, you can't take it away from Arteta. Unai Emery was sacked before the FA Cup starts in January. Arteta took charge of every game leading to the FA Cup final. So why are we saying
built the team already?
He used somebody's team to win that somebody's team that wasn't good enough to win the FA Cup.
But Arteta should not stay at Arsenal for one more season.
Do not sack him. My point is, he needs to target one of these small trophies. This season, the Carabao Cup semi-final against Newcastle. I don't understand why Arsenal didn't attack that game. You see, when you win, it does something to you. It does something to you. It makes even your players walk onto the pitch with a certain. Look at Newcastle's form since they won the Carabao Cup. Look at their form. Now they have a certain when they go to Stamford Bridge, when they go to Etihad, they don't feel inferior again because they can show you medals. Arsenal haven't won anything. So all these small things, it defeats their psyche. So they need to win something. So next season, I know Arteta will stay. FA Cup, Carabao Cup, target one of those trophies. Put your best players in and win it. At least it will do something for the side. Maybe if they don't win the league or Champions League next season, maybe he will go. Maybe he will give up and he will go. But as for sacking, I know Arsenal are not going to sack Arteta. But it was hard luck.
Because they have
to move on. They have to move on from Arteta.
That is the ruthlessness with which Chelsea became a big player in Europe.
That's what United is doing now.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
That's what United did there. Where their team is now, unless you bring God himself, the quality is just not there. If you bring the best coach and with Onana, look at the goal Onana considered in the Europa League, the second leg. You should have saved that. Sommer saves that 9 out of 10. Donnarumma saves that. You don't consider that. And all the chances, the back line, the defense is not good enough. The best players, there are two of them, Ahmad and Bruno Fernandes. That's it. And you can't compete at the high. And that is why I agree with Arsene Wenger that you shouldn't play such low quality football and get a pass to come into Champions League. At least we should give you the trophy. You still stay in the Europa League and play there. This Man United, they are supposed to go and win that and come into there.
You're saying that the Europa League is a low quality competition.
Oh yeah, it's a second tier European trophy.
But in every competition, the second tiers are always getting promotion upwards.
Yeah, but not in terms of the Champions League structure. If you don't qualify in your league, especially when your league is having 5 representatives, you don't bring. You play with low quality opposition all throughout.
What Wenger is saying is an afterthought or hindsight.
It's because it's Man U in question.
Yes, the reason why the Europa League is what it is. The Europa League used to be a no competition. We were making losses.
Yeah, but that's the business.
When they reformed it, of course, football is business. When it was Super Cup, UEFA Cup.
UEFA Cup.
When they rebranded it and they added the extra incentives of it being a way for people to play in Champions League, it shot the competition's appeal to a different level. All of a sudden, clubs viewed it on a different level. And that is why the Europa League is what it is today. Today, UEFA doesn't need to use the Euros money or the Champions League money to fund the Europa League. The Europa League is self-sustaining to the extent that they've made so much profit from the Europa League and the Champions League. They've created the one Chelsea are forcing to win, the Conference League. They've used the Champions League, Euros, and the Europa League has made so much money that they've now created UEFA Super League, UEFA Nations League, and they've not even gone on to create UEFA Nations League for women's football. So all of that didn't happen in a vacuum. So if you want to drop the standard and the appeal of Europa League by saying that it means nothing to win it, because what it means to win the Europa League now is Champions League football. It's premium. So that elevates the level. Why do you think that the playoffs in England fetches more money than any other cup competition in England? It's over £120 million final for playoffs to qualify to the Premier League. Why?
They earn more than even the winner of
the championship. Because you are getting promotion having played the final to the Premier League. So Wenger, make you relax. Make you relax on what they talk.
Anyway, let's see if Wenger will relax. But
when Arsenal were going to face Chelsea in the Europa League final, that one he knew that Europa League was good. When Atletico shipped them to go and win, that one day he knew that Europa League was good. My boss should stop that thing.
I like him, but it is slack.
For stop that thing.
You should push this offside rule. That one I like it. This one there.
Or like the guy in Tony.
Yeah, like the time scored against.
Well, I've seen some of you, your messages still coming in. This one said, "Oh, Charlie, this Arsenal final, Miss Spain me pass World Cup 2010." He says she's Cove Town babe. Another one. Can you guys open the one at the top for me, or let me just open it here? This one says, it says, "Those of you calling for the sacking of Arteta do not understand football. Hey, Arsenal finished 8th position when he took over the club. Then we came to 5th, and then 2nd 3 times in a row, and Champions League semi-finals. That is progress. And with patience, he will win trophies. The owners of the team must be willing to spend on big players. Nene, Numo Tay from Dansoman. Charlie, it is 2nd position 3 times in the progress.
Bro, it took Pep Guardiola 7 years to win the Champions League for City. They didn't bring Pep to win League. They were winning League. They were winning FA Cup. They were winning Carabao Cup. It took him 7 years. PSG. They've been winning League A. It's taking them forever since 2010 or so.
I don't think the demand on Arteta is necessarily to win the Champions League. It's to win a trophy.
You know, so what no, it is of course to win a trophy. Yeah. I agree. But what I'm saying is, Arsenal have not been winning big things for a long time. As when I was winning cup games, Arteta came, he won the cup. Emery went to the final, he couldn't win everything. What I'm saying is, there are many clubs who go through this spell. Arteta has his own problems, which I agree with. I think he's too stubborn at times, he's too predictable, blah blah blah. But there isn't any guarantee when you look across the markets now for managers
that any coach can come in,
any coach comes
and do anything different.
Arsenal into winning, bro.
Yeah, but that is what see. Look at Barcelona, the Barcelona of Xavi last year.
Yes.
And look at the Barcelona of Flick.
You brought him as a Flick.
Yeah. That's the manager.
So I'm saying who?
I'm saying that. Okay.
Now if they sack Xavi, if they sack Arteta, give us names.
You know, after 9 years, I live
on the market. Truly, it's tough. It really is. The quality of elite managers it's the pool of elite managers
is very small.
Very small.
How bad will someone like Xavi go in to take over the Arsenal? How bad will he be?
Xavi,
I don't think he can do it.
Wait,
the struggle,
Arsenal.
the pressure at Arsenal now. I don't think Arsenal will give him that time.
There's no guarantee Xavi wins. You see, if you are sacking Arteta to bring a manager, you are bringing in a Pep, a Klopp,
Ancelotti, someone like
Carlo,
who can
somebody you guarantee is coming to top up because what Arteta has done is brilliant. If you look at it from where he started from, what is left is the X factor. So if you are bringing in a manager, you are sure that manager is going to bring that X factor. I'm telling you, on the managerial market, the list is non-existent. They're not there.
So they have to manage him like that.
Bro, Man United have got Amorito. If they had elite manager, would they have Amorito as their coach?
Amorito is in the final.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Charlie, the Premier League is hard, though.
it's all part of it.
We beg.
So my letter I'm bringing them.
It says, please, when will you dissect what happened to Madrid? Injuries to the defense, to the coach, to Cruz. Can Alonso manage Madrid pressure? We'll come to Alonso move to Madrid very shortly and how all of that is going to unfold. And someone says, why not Klopp? We'll try and see why Klopp's move to Madrid didn't happen. And that's from Sam in at Tabora there. So let's see which other message we have here. Okay, that's all. But let me tell you about the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey, which we've been talking about a lot. Are you ready for the biggest outdoor sports entertainment event? It's happening on the 31st of May 2025, and it's happening at the Aviation Social Center, Real Madrid. Of course, now any club at all you support, whether you're a Madrid fan, you're a Chelsea fan, it's a perfect time to have fun. It's the ultimate football festival. Ultimate football festival. All right. So there's going to be so much Jama, wash and field contest, sports, quiz, five-a-side, soccer. We're going to have the Champions League anthem competition. In fact, there's going to be a lot. And of course, we'll have the, the commentary of the final there on Hits and of course on Joe here. But the event, as we are building up with it, make sure to wear your jerseys and keep the conversation going on with the hashtag Rep Your Jersey. And remember that it is powered by Joy Sports and Joy Prime, and also sponsored by Soccer Bet, your best bet for sports betting. TCL, Inspire Greatness, Franco Trading Enterprise, Still Phone, Papa Fie, Akono Ginger, Efriwara, and Waka Now, anything travel, Waka Now, day for you. Day by day, man, strong and refined. ITEL A90, truly durable and colorful. The Game Energy drink, feel the energy. Citizen Sports, level up your game, and DSTV, feel every moment. And also, the show is brought to you by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams, and of course, Betway, get way more. Let me tell you also about the Betway Bet Influencer. It's time to get rewarded as the next big sports betting influencer with Betway. Place bets and share your codes with friends, fans, and followers. If they place bets using your code, you earn 4% of their wager. Of course, this is beautiful, isn't it? It doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss. If they bet, you earn cash. And the more people that bet with your code, the more you will earn. Start betting, sharing, and winning with Bet Influencer. Exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions, of course, do apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsible way. Betway, you get way more. All right. And let me also tell you about Petrosol, who, of course, are also supporting the program. Remember, it's brought to you by Petrosol. Let me tell you about Petrosol. And we are saying hello, Ghana. Remember the excitement, the dreams. We fuel together for 10 incredible years. Platinum Petrosol, Platinum Energy celebrated with you in the Energizing Dreams promo. We poured joy into your journeys, rewarded your loyalty, and shared in your aspirations. But as the sun rises on a new day, so too does a new chapter for Petrosol Platinum Energy. While the anniversary celebrations have concluded, our promises remains unwavering to be your trusted partner on every road and every endeavor. Petrosol Platinum Energy, triple ISO certified, multiple award winning, with over 100 stations nationwide. We continue to deliver the quality fuels and lubricants you depend on. We remain committed to energizing your dreams, fueling your progress, and powering Ghana's growth. Our tagline says it all: Petrosol, energizing dreams. It's not just a slogan, it's our enduring commitment to you. So visit any of our over 100 stations across Ghana and experience the Petrosol difference. Quality you can trust, service you can rely on. Petrosol Platinum Energy, still energizing dreams today and, of course, always. And, of course, we continue to celebrate Petrosol and appreciate them for their support on the show. Well, let's just take a quick. All right, let me just do this before we go. Let me do this one before we go. The the Safari Day out with Mom. Okay, we'll get to talk about that. But let's take a quick commercial again from our sponsors. And then when we come back, we'll talk about the final. We'll try and have a little chat about the final. And then we'll see whether we can have something on the Clasico, which is happening on Sunday. And then the big move that Madrid has made as far as their coaching department is concerned. Xabi Alonso has told Bayern Leverkusen that he's moving on. And let's see if it's going to be a good move, if it's going to turn out well for him. Let's see if a former player can come and turn the fortunes for Real Madrid. Guys, stay with us, but keep your message. I've seen some of your messages coming through. Somebody try calling our WhatsApp line, please. So just send the messages, and then we can work with you. All right. So let's take this quick round of messages, and then we'll return. Keep your messages coming on 055 1111 997 055 1111 997. Who do you think is going to win the Champions League final between PSG and Inter Milan? Who do you think is taking it home? Send your messages right now. Let me hear from you. All right, send your messages right now. I will be reading them when I return from this one.
Ghana, be prepared for the biggest outdoor sports entertainment event, the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey 2025. Mark the date, Saturday, 31st May 2025 at the Aviation Social Center. Which football tribe do you belong to? Real Madrid, Barca, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, PSG? Are you in the against team or in the other team? Get ready for lots of fun and sports entertainment on Hits FM and experience the climax of the UEFA Champions League in grand style at the Aviation Social Center, 31st May. Tune into Hits 103.9 FM as we bring you live commentary of all semi-final matches. Powered by Joy Sports. Follow us on social media platforms. Hashtag Rep Your Jersey. The Hits FM Rep Your Jersey is brought to you by Hits 103.9 FM and powered by Joy Sports and Joy Prime. And brought to you by SoccerBet, your best bet for sports betting. TCL, inspire greatness. DSTV, feel every moment.
Gilbert Ampere of St. Augustine's College was born with a rare deformity in his right leg.
So when I approached mother, he told me Gilbert came with one leg.
In medical term, it's called paraxial hemimelia.
But the discovery of an amazing sporting talent and the undying will to succeed has opened the way for a future as a para-athlete.
I want Gilbert to be the first person to bring medal to Ghana.
It's been a wonderful experience for us as a college. Though being handicapped, he's full of the potential to excel.
He's someone who represents the motto of the college. That is perseverance conquers all. Omnia Quinchit Labor.
The Audacious Leap, a Nathaniel Atto Hotline documentary, coming soon on Joy News.
Kwame is cooking up the perfect multi-bet, ready to serve to all his friends and followers. He's using Betway's Bet Influencer, a new sports betting feature where he can make money just by sharing his codes. The more codes he shares, the more money he makes. Anyone can be a bet influencer. Another world first from Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more.
Another welcome back. Sicho and Daniel, there's a message for you I just saw here. I'm going to read it out to you very soon. But this one says, good afternoon, guys. If Man U wins the Europa and qualify to play Champions League, are they not better than Arsenal? What's a second position without a trophy? You are okay, PSG, and your striker is... you are playing PSG and your striker is Mikel Merino. Ateta must go. Ajeman Joseph, Community 9, Tema, a.k.a. Ajingo the man. Okay, well, let's see. Is Europa League you are winning? So the fact that you won Europa doesn't mean you did better than Arsenal, Charlie. Yeah, we know. We all know that Arsenal were better than you this season. This one says, it's going to be a very tough game. Inter have a slight edge over PSG. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. This one says, it said, please tell Sicho And Daniel, that the championship playoff isn't more lucrative than winning the championships. Every team that qualifies to the APL is guaranteed around £120 million, not for winners of the championship alone. Okay, playoff alone. That's what he says.
Playoffs has a cash prize. Aside that goes to the winner. The playoff has a cash prize that goes to the winner. That is aside the amount of money the champion, those who qualify for Premier League would make. So check the two. There's a difference. Yeah.
Then this one says, I simply allude to DK's point that PSG has really worked hard over the years, and now is their time to laugh hard by climaxing the season with a win of the UCL. It's their season. Let's watch it out. Okay, let's see if that's going to happen. But it's going to be a great final between PSG and Inter Milan. Inter Milan were last in the final, I think, about 3 seasons ago against Manchester City. And for PSG, if you look at their run last season, they came this close to making it to the final. It was in the semi-finals. Semi-final, beg your pardon. Semi-final, they were knocked out. Prior to that, they've been, of course, to the final when Bayern Munich defeated them 1-0. Coleman scored that goal. And then they brought a certain Messi in there.
No, they did the final. Then the following season, they did a semi-final. Where they lost to Man City. The one Man City went to lose to Chelsea. City beat PSG. Then they did another semi-final before... the Argentine guy, no?
Yeah, they did. Then they had 2 round of 16 exits.
Yeah,
you know that was quite shocking.
They did the final against Bayern.
Then they did a semi-final.
Where they lost to City. They did last 16. They did a semi-final last season.
And the
final this season. I think
so the 2 last 16, that is where the drop-off came. And there are clear reasons to that, but another day we'll talk about it.
And that was the season that you can say they had a better team on paper, if you want to look at it.
No, on FIFA, everybody wanted to use them, but in real life, we knew that there was a problem. That's why the fans sacked him. You see, the fans, they know that they understand the team better than the fans went to the headquarters and said, get rid of this guy. And they were right. Time has proven that they were right.
And I think for PSG, they would have learned their lessons by now that you don't necessarily need big names. You need a good coach who knows his stuff, who have players who are committed to that ideology. Because this is a team without Mbappe. And the coach said it. Luis Enrique said it last year when Mbappe announced that he's going to leave. He said, if Mbappe leaves, they will still have a better team than when Mbappe was in the team, and you can see it. Because when you play as a unit and everyone plays their part, it's always better than when you don't play like that and there's one guy who is doing everything. The day that guy doesn't do that, you drop.
You're in trouble.
So I think PSG have done so well. They'll be a very, very, very.
But when you look at each team's performance, even for what do you call it, Inter Milan, I think they have a lot. They have a lot at stake here. They were on the verge of winning the Serie A.
They are not. As of now, they are second.
Yes,
so
I said they were. They were on the verge of winning it until they slept. And Napoli now is ahead of them. Napoli, of course, being in the driving seat now, I don't think Conte is going to give up on that. Then they were in the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia. Then they lost to AC Milan. These guys, as at the time, they qualified to the semi-finals. They were on the running for a treble. And all of a sudden, all they have is the Champions League. All they have, of course, they are still keeping an eye on the Serie A, hoping that Conte will slip, but that's very unlikely. But now, all they have is the Champions League. Then you talk about PSG and Luis Enrique, and I was just looking at the data, and apparently it was exactly 10 years ago when he won the treble with Barcelona.
Yep.
And now he's in the final.
Could win a treble too.
Yes, he was in the final of the Coupe de France. He's won the Ligue 1, and he's in the finals of the Champions League. All right, of course. PSG are yet to win the Champions League, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
they've never won it before. Last time Inter Milan won it was what? That was what?
2010.
2010.
Treble season.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Charlie, so who will win it?
Let me get closer with this, but I think that Inter Milan will win it. People say, PSG have suffered. 2 years ago, Inter Milan suffered a massive blow in a game against City. PSG also suffered against Bayern Munich. But I think the way PSG plays and the way Inter plays, I fancy Inter Milan. I just fancy Inter Milan. When it's getting closer, we'll talk about the whys. Look, but PSG have got weapons. they've got massive weapons to hit. Because look, the first that will come to my mind when this game, if everybody is fit. The reason I like talking about games when it's getting closer is you know
who is available.
If everybody is fit and all things are equal, Inter's power outlet has always been Dumfries. But on that side, you've got Nuno Mensch and you've got Kvaratskhelia. So how far high are you willing to push Dumfries? How low are you willing to stick Dumfries? Because if you stick him low to cover Kvaratskhelia, you've got Nuno Mensch bumping forward, right? And so, like, they've got massive weapons. Look, when the game is getting closer, we'll delve straight into all the what could happen. I fancy Inter, but PSG can also win this. It's again one of the games I'll say is close.
Daniel, just let me just get your thoughts on this Xabi Alonso move. You know, it has not been confirmed, but it looks very likely that he's going to take.
He's
over.
confirmed he's leaving.
He's confirmed. Yes, and if he's leaving, of course, we know where he's going.
Real Madrid is coming, but it looks good on paper, but obviously there are no guarantees. I think the Real Madrid issue is not about the coach. I think it's about the squad. How far are they going to go in this transfer window? They've already confirmed Trent Alexander-Arnold. That is a really good signing because Carvajal, Vasquez, their time is gone. So Trent coming in is good. But I think the midfield is where the issue is. I'm hearing talk of, in fact, I heard that one of Alonso's, one of the reasons why he agreed to take the Madrid job was if they gave him guarantees about Zubimendi. So if they can tie that deal together, I think it's a ready team because they need that midfield. I think so. I think he knows him. I think he knows him somewhere. So that if Zubimendi is coming to Real Madrid, that's a big plus for Real Madrid going into next season. Because for me, that's the only place they seriously have luck. For the centre back, everyone being fit, I think they can manage. Asensio, Rudiger. Alaba can play big part. Militao coming back. I think if everybody is fit.
I think Madrid will bring in another centre back, but he's not going to play if Alonso is going to stick with the back three that was very successful for him at Leverkusen. He's got a very good player in Trent Alexander-Arnold, who we know is going to go there as a proper wing back. I think he's a better wing back than Liverpool have used him as a full back, really. And when he's trying for Liverpool in his numbers and everything, it's when he's been very advanced.
You could even send Mendy to left centre back.
Yes, Mendy could be very pacey, can defend, and then if they get somebody to do that left hand side, it's all about how he's able to get all the players to buy into the ideas. And Real Madrid, that's one thing about Real Madrid. Will he have enough time to preach your message across for the players to start competing?
It's just one El Clasico defeat and the
and
media
6 points between Barcelona and Real Madrid and some Champions League defeats against Liverpool somewhere.
You are tell you say
just like that.
You know rich.
Or Bayern will go catch you for Champions League news on 1 second.
You know rich.
The time Benitez go Madrid
China pass.
And all the Barca give him that's all. Quick.
They say you know rich.
Yeah, but
talking about El Clasico, Charlie.
Sunday, I mean, the anger, I mean, I've seen the pictures of the boys in the training. Listen, the boys are not smiling. The boys are angry.
They're vexed.
Lewandowski was standing there like some gorilla, standing there like that. Like he doesn't want to smile. And it's at Montjuic. Listen, first half is 3-0. Because you see,
it could be more.
You see yellow and red and blue at the stadium that day. See, when the Real Madrid players get in, they will be dazed. They will be dazed because I think at the back of Real Madrid, they think, listen, this is a time we can have set Barcelona season. You've lost in there. Some of the players may not have the psychology
fully recovered from it.
And so you coming in there, you're coming to do something. Wallahi, it's not happening. It's been 3 games and it's been a beating. Sunday, 2 p.m. See, by the end of the first half, the game would have been wrapped up. I'm telling you. Because see, I'm telling you, go to Barcelona's Facebook page and they put the players, they are not smiling. And so, Lamine Yamal will come in there with the JBL. Now he has signed a new one with Beat by Dre. He's going to bring in a big sound. They're going to play. Listen, like, first half, 3. And then second half, because you see, that game that we had a red card, I think it's in the first leg or something like that. It could have been 8. But this time around,
the cup final.
Yeah, they just cannot upset, because this is all Barcelona is going. Barcelona in Barcelona's season, a Copa del Rey alone, despite how well played, will be a big failure, and that is what the Spanish media will be on about. And the Spanish media, they are unrelenting, they are unforgiving. Barcelona know that, and going into that game, I'm telling you, El Clasico, easy game. First half wrapped up 3-0. Second half, we come up, get some 2 more goals. We go in there, and then we go and rest because we're not going to play that Club World Cup thing. Instead of Infantino inviting us when they took out Club Leon, he's going out there saying some people are going to play some playoff. You have Barcelona that is playing well, that can bring you more publicity to the thing. He said no, because they know if you come, we'll come and win the thing. And so they don't want us there. But it's fine. We'll wait our chance the next time it comes. But that game, I'm telling you, first half, that game will be wrapped up.
When he promised the Champions League, he would have been there.
Madrid have lost 3 times to Barcelona this season.
Yeah.
I think if there's a Clasico that Madrid can win this season, it's this very one.
Why?
Because
thank you very much for the question. If you acknowledge me.
Thank you very much for the question.
Thank you.
Because Barcelona are likely to go into this Clasico game, aside the whole stretch in the Inter game and psychological, they are likely to go into this Barcelona game without Koundé. I don't know the state of Inigo Martinez, who had a discomfort in the game against Inter. I don't know if Balde is fit enough to start against Real Madrid. That straight away is 3 of Barca's starting back line out of the game. And we saw Eric Garcia struggle against a not so fast Inter Milan side, a not so rapid Inter Milan side. We saw Gerard Martin struggle against Dumfries. Even though he's physical, he's not the quickest you would have. But Real Madrid have got a lot of that in attack. And to be honest, if you ask me, Real Madrid's attack is more frightening than Inter's attack, right? But even that, without Balde, without Koundé, and without Balde, and when Inigo Martinez went off, we saw how Barca's backline looked shaky. So even though Barca go into this game as favourites, I think that Barca without the 3 players I've mentioned could have a problem. How fit is Lewandowski is also an issue. But Real Madrid have themselves got defensive issues. Rudiger has been suspended.
Yeah.
Even when he was there, they still couldn't defend anything. If Arsenal play against Real Madrid and Partey was throwing in those balls, I'm sure one of the throws would have gone straight into the net. Madrid just can't defend anything, right? And so that is why I think Barca have got an opening. And Barca's attack is superb. They are all playing very well. But if Real Madrid have got an opportunity of winning a Clasico this season,
of redeeming themselves,
it could be this game because of the players that Barca will be lacking, and the fact that Barca can't help but always keep the line high. And without the Balde space, the Koundé space, Inigo Martinez's leadership at the back, I wonder if that is where Real Madrid could find those loopholes. But I think it's still a Barca's game to lose.
Well, while at it, the Journeys, in partnership with the McDown Foundation, is presenting the finalists for the 2025 Impact Makers Awards. From after-school programs to mental health advocacy, clean water project, inclusive education, women empowerment, and more. These are the true agents of change, making extraordinary impact and how to reach communities across the country. So make sure to catch the inspiring stories on Joy News as we honor their efforts in reshaping lives one step at a time. The Journeys Impact Makers Awards is brought to you by Gold Key Properties, Transforming the Landscape, MNC Global, Totally Reliant, German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental Wellness and Beauty, and Latex Foam, your partner for life, the Center for Strategic Philanthropy and Social Investment of the Pentecost University. We say unleashing transformational philanthropy, research and innovation for community impact. And also, you've got the Philanthropy Ghana, promoting and elevating philanthropy in Ghana, and the Ghana CEO Summit and Expo, inspiring business leadership and economic transformation. Well, we're going to wrap up very shortly with the exploit of the Under-20 team. They're still looking to, I think the target is to make it to the Under-20 World Cup. The moment they've qualified to the quarterfinals. But there was an interesting bit about Jerry Efriye being in the team, being allowed to go back to the club, and Desmond Ofei saying that hopefully the guy can return to the squad. He's challenged somewhere. Right now Jerry Efriye is a hot kick, so we need to, make the team flexible for him so that he can go in and come back Anyway, I'll get the guys' quick thoughts on that, on the under-20 team and what they've been doing so far. And then quick one on the MTN FA Cup. As I mentioned, we have commentary for you on Sunday at 4 p.m. Kotoko versus Brecum Chelsea. Karim Zito has a chance to give Kotoko a title if the Ghana Premier League doesn't work out and possibly get them to play in Africa next season. But there's also some 2 Division 1 clubs in Atram Divisa and Golden Cakes who are looking to follow the steps of Nanya FC to become only the 2nd Division 1 team to win the MTN FA Cup. Let's see if that's going to happen. Their game will happen on Saturday, and all of the games are happening at the TNA Stadium, so it's expected to be some real fun. But while at it also, remember that Sunday is Mother's Day. Charlie, Sunday is Mother's Day. And of course at Joy FM, we've got something special for you. It's the Safari Day Out with Mom. Celebrate your mother in a unique way this year. Pamper her in a way she will never forget. And for that, Joy FM in Safari Valley Eco Park is offering you this once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity. Safari Tour, sumptuous buffet lunch, live band, great ambience, outdoor games, and many more. Joy FM Safari Day with Mom will be on Saturday, 10th of May 2025, tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And the rate is 950 Ghana cedis per head for adults, 650 per head for teenagers, and 550 per head for kids. There will be free transport from Joy FM to and from the venue for those interested. So book your table by sending your payment via Momo to 05930388842 with multimedia as the name, or use the short code *714*003*3# to make a purchase. And also for inquiries, you can call us on 030-221-6540 or 055-459-4727. Registration closes at noon today. Charlie, Tama, or they can sneak you in. Well, let's see. But Safari Day Out with Mama is sponsored by DBS Industries. We truly are your roof experts. And also by Chimota Retail Center. Go shop this Mother's Day at Chimota Retail Center. It's unsaid. Vibes in Kwa and live on 2 feminine watch. Stay fresh to impress. Chic collection where fashion counts. Woodine this Mother's Day. Show your love to the special woman in your life with Woodine, a gift that radiates elegance and style. Woodine Le Createur. And Gino truly cares. Vitamilk feels good anywhere, everywhere. And Sinel Specialist Hospital, your specialist family hospital. Ghana AIDS Commission, prevent mother to child transmission of HIV and AIDS. So that's the special package for you this Mother's Day, and why not just hop onto it and get to celebrate your mother on as far as that event is concerned. But also there's the Big Chef Junior Season 4, which is about to kick-start. Let me tell you about that briefly. And we know that the heat is now officially on because Big Chef Junior Season 4 is here, and the competition just got tastier. This season, our young culinary stars are stepping into the spotlight, turning up the flames, bringing their A-game, creativity, and passion as they battle it out in Ghana's most exciting junior cooking competition. So the big question is, who will rise and who will get chopped? You have the chance to vote for your favorites to stay in the competition via the short code *711*60#. So make sure you don't miss a single moment of the heat, the drama, and of course, the flavor. Big Chef Junior Season 4 shows every Sunday at 4 p.m. only on Joy Prime. It's sponsored by Frytov Vegetable Oil, Fortune Spread, Indomie, Gino Tomato Mix, Day Purified Drinking Water, Levon 2 Feminine Wash, Kivo Hot Pepper, and Reedy Vitamin C. Big Chef, good meals by kids. Well, quick one, Chicho. This under-20 team, I'm sure you've been monitoring them. Charlie, not bad, but the Chile free matter, it's a bit confusing for me. What's happening there?
No doubt about it. He's an important player to Desmond's team because obviously he's the best striker in the team, and his team also needs him because the season is ended. They need him to help them, and the calendar of the competition also means that it becomes difficult. So my understanding is that there was a negotiation between his club and the FA that the player could join the camp. In fact, he didn't even come too early to the camp, so he didn't even start the first game. So he could be available for 2 games. He returns to his club. But now we are hearing that he could be back with the team. My understanding is maybe because the team has qualified, the FA is negotiating with the club to release him again. And maybe if that happens, he's going to rejoin the side. But I don't know. Ghana's never been short of talent at this level. So I'm looking at his future with our national teams, I must say, is almost set. We know enough about him. We know how good he is. In fact, he's a Black Star player. He's been part of the team in the last 2 qualifiers also. So we know what it's all about. I'm wondering if taking him to play 2 games and denying another talent opportunity to go to this competition was worth it. But I can also understand we've not been to the World Cup for a very long time, so we want to throw in our best everything, even if it means it's the 2 games, because helping us to qualify from the group takes us to 1 win away from qualifying for the World Cup. So I think that is the risk, or that is the risk that the FA wanted to take with the boy, and they've taken it. But ultimately, the team didn't necessarily play well in that first game. They didn't necessarily play well in the second game. I thought it was better in the third. And that's a competition. You can always improve as the game's go on. All you need to do is to get the results. They're defending a lot better as the game progresses. The second game was a lot better than the first in terms of defending. The last game was also solid in terms of defending. What is lacking is the number of opportunities and goals we create and the goals we score. And if that can improve in our next game and maybe we win and get into the last 4, then all of us know we are going to the World Cup and we can now start thinking about winning the ultimate thing. So we wish Desmond and the lads all the best. We're also monitoring if indeed Jerry Afriyie will be returning to the squad or the rest of the team can carry on. But I think with a group of players that we have available, they are still good enough to go in and do the job.
They look like they can go on without what do you call it, Jerry Afriyie. But if he does eventually return, it's a big plus for the team and in terms of his impact on all of that. Daniel, have you been monitoring the team and the performance so far?
I think it's a 3 good tournament performances. We've not been the flashiest. We know Desmond to play a certain brand of football, expansive, lots of chances, goals. But I think we've been really smart in the 3 games that we've played. The first game, obviously, there were a lot of issues with late arrivals and things, so we were not at our best. The Senegal game was the one that impressed me in terms of how we managed the game. Senegal themselves had just come off their first game, so you would have expected them to be a bit better in that second game against Ghana, but we're hardly threatened defensively. And then yesterday's game was good. I thought we should have got more goals than we did, but again, we had basically already qualified before we played. If you looked at the dynamics and everything. So I think getting to the end of the game, I was thinking that we'll try and manage the game, but then we sensed the moment. It was a brilliant individual goal that won us the game. But obviously, you will need to improve as the competition goes. 2 clean sheets in 3 games is really good. 3 goals in 3 games doesn't look the best. But again, I say it's a tournament performance, because go back and look at all the tournaments. The flashiest team doesn't always win the competition. In fact, the last AFCON, the one Karim Zito's side won with the Barney and Dan Lad, that team, who were not the best offensively. There were lots of complaints, and then this team went to the final, and the very thing that had gone for them, which was their defensive solidity, ended up winning the competition. So in tournaments, you need to manage moments. You need to be very disciplined, and that's what I've seen with the squad. And when you have the individual quality and you have a coach that also understands an offensive philosophy, you know that if the need be, we can always switch it up and get more offensive and create more chances and score. But it's a defensive solidity that has impressed me so far, and we just hope that it continues.
Kweku, I'm sure whenever you talk about that 20 team, what you clearly remember is the 2009 exploit of Ajiman Bedu and Diayu. It's like we're all waiting for such a moment again. We're all waiting for such a moment again, but not sure if it's going to happen anytime soon. I
think if we do the right investment, as always, I think I like the analysis that have been made by both Daniel and Sicho. The guys are good, and before they went to this tourney, I'd seen reports about what's his name, Ibrahim Mahama and the kids and how. I don't think some of those press and some of the idea that a guy, all we knew about him is that the father is this and that's how he's in the team, and some of those things don't help, even if he's good enough, right? But I think I think for such a game, I think the strategy should all be to go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
So if you get to the point,
targets,
yeah,
you know,
if you get to the
about winning the
exactly, if you fall in the last 4, and then you get to qualify for the World Cup, I think that should be. And I'm just looking at the log. We are on top. We really on top of our group against a group that has Senegal in there,
Defending
and we know,
champion,
yeah,
we
and
beat
you know,
them, yeah.
exactly. And we know Senegal are very good with the youth teams going into the national
Yeah,
teams. They
they've
are
been
very
great.
good,
Yeah.
and so I think we must build back slowly. I think that, of course, we all agree that. For me, my view about Ketokreku and football administration in Ghana has been that we've just gone to the very, very the bottom barrels. But we can build back with some of those things because, to be very honest, it feeds back into the national team, the senior national team.
Yeah.
Ultimately, when you have these boys and they are good enough and they can transition, that is what you'll be looking at. So, I don't like that. We don't have a very big national conversation around the team going in there, but somehow that may also be good because then it lessens the pressure on the young lads. They'll be able to go in there, play their football, and then hopefully they can get into the last and then we'll get into the World Cup. Yeah. Ultimately, that is what I'm looking at, and if we get that, that would be somewhere to start because since 2009. We haven't really been our best at under 20 and especially the youth games. And so if we get there and we're able to build back slowly like that, we go in there, we see some performance, the boys are exposed to opportunities, they go and play in the big clubs and they're able to develop. It's a big win for Ghana football.
Yeah, it's indeed a big win for Ghana football. And talking about Ghana football, this weekend also is going to be a big one in Takwa. Not sure... if at the time he was where he was, like by now he would have been in Takwa. He would have been getting ready for things. But for that, the Takwa, they won't be that. You know, we'll go anywhere.
Why you not go? If we go,
no, I will go. If they know what they need to do to send me to Takwa. They know what they need to do.
You've already
like if Gold Stars did the final inside, but I know. So.
But it's not bad. If you look at the teams in the final, I think the game on Saturday is going to be nice. What Gordon Atram is doing with Atram Divisa is beautiful.
I trust him is a very good captain. Like
yeah.
They are always around quarters, semis, last 16 quarters, semis.
Yeah.
But I think the draw is good. The draw
is just the way it's sided the lower leagues on one side and then
we are guaranteed a lower league versus Ghana Premier League.
The final.
Kotoko need to be careful because they are facing a manager that has
no, Karim Zito is winning the thing. What I
Karim Zito is a solid cap manager, but I'm saying that Samobodu has won it recently. In fact, he won it back to back.
Yeah, 2 times.
He did it back to back with Hartlepool back to back in recent times. So when it comes to the FA Cup, he knows exactly what he's doing. So Kotoko needs to be careful. The last round they were not too convincing. Kwame Opoku's last minute goal against
that's football. They
were playing at home. Yeah, but they've not looked too convincing the past few months, so they need to be careful.
I mean, it's a cracking game. It will be a cracking. I think it will be a very good game. Danny has mentioned the Bwedi knows all about this competition.
He has a good record against Kotoko.
He has a good record against Kotoko. But Karim Zito is
cap master.
He's a cap master. He's done it with national teams. He's
done
it with dreams. So he knows all about the nuances in this cup competition. So that is why it's going to be a game that everybody would keep an eye on.
I think it's Kotoko Atram Divisa final, and then Kotoko win the FA Cup.
It's quite possible. I think Atram
last season
Golden Kicks.
Not Golden Kick. Zito went to Soga and went to lose. Have you forgotten?
Yeah.
Last season, they shipped dreams.
Obviously, he won't win it every season, but he has a great track record of. And he's got a better group of players than what he had with Dreams FC.
Yeah.
So, hope and
Bekum Chelsea have like 12 goals in this competition so far. In this of the 4 semi-finalists,
they are balling.
No.
They are the better team so far.
And the FA Cup. He has hacked it some way somehow.
Yeah.
And Zito too has a hack. So the two teams make the hack them body make PC.
But you see, you were talking about Trump Divisa Protocol final. You see those golden kick boys.
They're dangerous.
They knocked out House of Folk.
Yeah, they are dangerous. They are very dangerous.
Especially on penalties. They played 5 games. 4 of them are going to penalties.
And they've won it all.
They are dangerous.
Yeah.
They love playing as underdogs, right?
Yeah. Survive the 90 minutes and take it.
When you're under pressure.
Unfortunately for them to Atram Divisa to another penalty shootout.
Yeah, they like that.
So they will break themselves penalties and we'll see what they will do. All right. So it's going to be a great semi-final in Takwa. I think it's nice to take it there like that.
Yeah.
Keep that. And
you create a tournament, a small tournament feeling in that part of town. It's going to jam. I hope that the facilities and other things are there. If it was those days that Ghana football used to be Ghana football, I mean, hotels and guest houses would have all been booked by now. The community would have been jamming, would have created a lot of, that is the struggle. The business side of the football we don't do well. So there would have been a whole lot of a festival around that, because that's like a top 4 there who are just going to do. So if you had built something around it, fans will be trooping in there, and you would have.
I think it's going to be a great party. We'll see how it all unfolds, guys. Thank you very much for being part of the show.
Oh, let me say this last one.
All right,
Tottenham Man United in the Europa League final.
Yeah,
it's the what's his name? Ange Postecoglou was clear. He usually wins something in the second season.
You think he will win it?
I promise you, I'll be here after the Europa League. If Manchester United win that Europa League, I'll take 2 weeks leave from Evans Mensah, and I'll dash my salary, my half salary, to a charity that what's his name? Daniel Cranton will pick. Yeah, if he wins that.
All right, I think we've recorded it, so we'll see. Anyway, thank you for being part
of
it. We'll see.
You are doing this for charity.
Guys, we'll meet again next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And it's been Game Plan on Joe 99.7 FM. And do enjoy. But remember, Kotoko vs Bekum Chelsea here on Joy FM next week on Sunday at 4 p.m. Make a date with us. All right? Thank you once again.